Hi, my name's Carrie Freno, and I am an assistant professor in the Art and Art History department at Ursinus College. I am a video and sound artist, and I explore themes of familial struggle and identity in my work. Yeah, I think what's interesting for me personally is that I have a background in clay and more sculptural mediums where touch is really important, and how you're handling and working with the materials and those processes. But then when I started working in video and sound, I realized that those processes translate completely in the way that, if you put pressure and you compress clay, it gets smaller, and you can do that to time as well in both video and sound. You can compress the time and make it faster, and that can like elicit an emotion or communicate something to a viewer or a listener. So like sound and video can have texture and pattern and tone and color and form and all of these words that we use to describe physical sculptural objects. um, you know Video, movement, choreography, sound, you can use all those same sort of words to describe it and to work with it. I mean, I think it's like a more foreign medium when people think about like art materials and art mediums, also partially because it's more new and it's more contemporary, but it also, in being more contemporary, has become a lot more accessible to people. I mean, you can make music or make a sound piece on your phone, by recording things around you and putting them together and altering them. I think sometimes the accessibility of video and sound can make a museum goer or a viewer like almost put off a little bit, like, well, how is sound art? Like, you don't have to have, because you don't need to be trained in the same way that you might need to be trained to use like clay and a kiln and things like that, because it is accessible. You can pick up your phone and make something, but that, they might question its like legitimacy more than a more conventional art material. I use sound to create a more immersive experience for a viewer when I'm making a video installation. So I want it to kind of bring them into the experience a little bit more and hold them there. I also use it to sort of underscore like the tone of what I'm exploring on screen, or the subject matter. I can create some background information with sound that adds another layer of complexity or just information for the viewer or the person experiencing the work. I've definitely worked with sound, usually in conjunction with the moving image in a video context, but sound is really important to my work, especially in the context of an installation where the image is large, usually like projected on a wall. Like the image becomes sort of immersive to the viewer, and the sound is like another 50% of that experience. And I think like the point of using it is to be immersive, is to really like immerse the viewer, the listener, the audience, like into the experience. I think the scale of it though is an interesting thing, because that's like what we were talking about with like the headphones versus the speaker. Like the scale of the sound could either be very small and intimate just for you through headphones, the way that a small object might be, like a Fabergé egg or something that you're looking at, and you really, you have to get close to it. You have to have an intimate experience with it. But when the scale of the sound is made large and it fills like the entire building, it changes the immersiveness of the experience for the viewer. And it's like they've entered a world that they maybe didn't know existed before. Like that Bible story, Jonah and the whale. Like being inside the museum is like being inside like the whale. Like it's a living thing.